welcome to part 2 of the 4th Q&A on vintage genetics, and let's get right started. ZenMK69 asks, why are you lifting light weights? How strong you actually are? Well, how strong are you actually? Well, bodybuilding isn't about strength, but of course I like to lift heavy weights and be able to do it, as I did in the 70s and 80s as well. You know, Arnold really didn't always go light. He claimed he even did 275 pounds on the barbell curl, which is something I'll probably never do. But the question is, why are you lifting light weights? The thing is, I only show that in a video to be able to show you good form, but at the same time, I need a spotter during the last 2 sets, usually. And that means that the one who usually captures it has to spot me, so I cannot film it. And that's it. But lately I've been showing you more heavier sets, heavier exercises, to basically show you that yes, it is important to lift heavy. Do not just lift light weights. You gotta overload the muscle. One of the principles of building muscle, combination with timer retention and progressive overload, which equals muscle growth. But yes, lift heavy weights, guys, with good form. Next question. Paul Naughton asks, what sets and rep ranges have you found work best for calves? I usually like to combine the standing calf raise and the seated calf raise. They work at different angles of the muscle and actually a different muscle overall in the calves. What I like to do is one exercise you do really heavy, and one exercise you basically pump the calves up. And I usually like to start off with the pump exercise because that fills up the muscle with blood. And then when you go heavy, you stretch it out all the way to the bottom. And because of the extra blood, the stretch will be much more effective and you will feel it a lot more. So about the pump sets, about 15 reps, and the last set I like to do 21s. So 7 reps at the bottom, 7 reps at the top, and 7 reps complete. Always go all the way down and all the way up with your calves. That's important. Full range of motion, guys. You gotta let the calves experience tension that it's not used to when you're walking around on the street. And you know, the sets, just do 4 sets, 3 sets of 15, then finish off with 1 set of 21s on either the standing or the seated calf raise, and then go to a different exercise. Or if you did standing first, then go to the seated and do a heavy one of about 10 reps, you know, for 3 sets. Real heavy, 3 to 4 sets. And that should make your calves grow. Next question by Silverback. Why do you use barbells instead of dumbbells to build the chest? Well, I use both, but I like to use the barbell for the bench press and the incline bench press because of 2 things. First of all, you can use a heavier load, overloading the muscle fibers of the chest. And especially on the incline bench press, the stretch, you cannot compare it to any other exercise. When you go down and really low like that, the stretch you get on your upper chest is amazing. Especially when you go right here with the bar. Make sure you take it easy, start out with a low weight, see if your shoulders can handle it. But you gotta tuck in your shoulder, elbows a little bit, then go down to save your shoulders. But yes, because of the stretch in the upper pecs I like to use the incline barbell press. But I do use dumbbells almost always for the flies to get a really good stretch as well, because with the barbell you cannot really go down as deep as with dumbbells when you do flies, of course. And I also do dumbbell presses, of course, but I usually do twice with the barbell and then once with the dumbbell. You know, 2 workouts with barbell, 1 with the dumbbell, because I just prefer the barbell. Next question by Hamza Demon. How do you fix short triceps, not having any mass near the elbow? Well, I explained this a little bit in the first part, but an important thing is, as you can see right here, this is the elbow, and this is the medial head. For some people, the long head right here stops about here, which causes this part to be non-existent. but this part always attaches all the way to the elbow, the medial head. And how do you improve that? By doing kaboom presses. Close grip presses. You can even do holding 2 dumbbells like this, close grip presses like that. And basically anything that requires you to press out with your arms. Even the military press with the for the shoulders with the dumbbells or the barbell also helps your medial head. And even doing the rope push down a certain way, if you really don't go all the way, don't keep your arms straight down, but actually go a little bit like this. It's also a pressing movement, right? So when you bend over a little bit like this, push out your arms, you also work the medial head. So that is my tip for you. Use also actually the tricep dips, but that works the entire triceps, but also the medial head as well. So keep working on that, especially keep working on the whole triceps, but especially the medial head, and you will be fine to create some mass in the elbow. Next question from Benny Gum. One question about the delts, because they are my biggest weak point, especially the side and the rear delts. You said a lot of times that a big volume helped you to grow them, and I did this in the past for like over 6 months, and I did have the patience to look if it works, because in bodybuilding nothing comes overnight, that is true. But I recognize that if I do lateral raises lower than 10 reps, it will make my side delt grow more. Okay, so what you want to do is grow the side delts and the rear delts, and you say that lower reps help build your side delts more. Well, there is actually more than the traditional side lateral raise. You also have the wide grip upright row. As you can see, it's the same movement, but the difference is you can overload the muscle with more weight. Using both arms, you can add a lot more weight. Make sure to use a wide grip upright row on the easy curl bar. Go up like this. It's almost, see, the same movement. Also goes up like this, working the side delt. So at least put that exercise in there, and also go with the incline, on your side incline side lateral raise like this, and that activates the side delts a lot more, puts a lot more tension on it, which doesn't require you to use a lot of weight. If you could use 10 kilos like this, it turns into 5 kilos like this with the same amount of effort. So that is my tip to you, to build those side delts and the rear delts. For me, volume works, but combined always with heavy exercises. And the rear delts actually develop by doing rows. When you do a row, kaboom! There the rear delt is. It's popping out right there. When you do a barbell, T-bar row, a barbell row, but especially isolating it with a rear delt fly. See? So, but you cannot go heavy on that one, so combine it with, there's actually an exercise called the Kai Green shrugs. You basically hold the bar behind you, you do a shrug, and then you put up this motion. It's done almost purely with your rear delts. So kaboom it, kaboom. And you can also do that pretty heavy. So, but that will be one of the exercises that I'm going to explain in another video. But I hope I helped you a little bit to grow the side and rear delts. The Hiatus PRT asks, what do you do for stretch marks? Since you gain a lot of mass comparing to how skinny you were. Well, I actually do have stretch marks, as you can see right there. This is a bad one. And on the back, I don't know if you can see, but there are stretch marks. They're inevitable, but I usually moisturize those areas. For example, when I train chest, I make sure that I put a lot of moisturizer here. For example, argan oil is a good one, coconut oil, or even just a moisturizing cream. Make sure that skin is really moisturized. Make sure it's not dry, because the drier your skin, the more it's gonna rip, basically. And make sure to eat a lot of vitamin E. And I recommend just using a supplement for this, because you're putting so much stress on your skin basically when you're working out. Vitamin E has a lot more properties than just fixing the skin as well. but then take the vitamin E after working out. It's an antioxidant, so don't take it before working out because that can actually inhibit your muscle gains. Next question by DevilU18. On the smaller groups like triceps, biceps and delts, after you start feeling the pump, do you continue doing reps and search for the burn and pain, or do you keep your reps in the pump range? Well, one of the, of course, goals of a workout for me is to achieve a pump. A pump means that the blood is rushed into the muscle. It looks bigger, that's one benefit of it. But more importantly, more blood is delivered to that muscle, delivering more nutrients, more oxygen, etc., making it more susceptible to growth. But I don't necessarily stop after the pump. When I achieve a pump, I actually keep going. I want to keep the pump going, and I go as heavy and as intense as I can all the time. So yes, the burn will occur, the pain will occur, the fatigue will occur, but the pump will remain. Another question by Ricardo Lugo. Is it a good idea to train my calves like Arnold did 6 times a week? Well, in my opinion, doing them 3 times a week really heavy, that is the best scenario. If you use good form, heavy reps, full range of motion. But yes, Arnold did it every single day. He actually cut his pants to reveal his calves all the time so that he was conscious that he had to make them grow. So he was motivated to train them every single day, 6 times a week to 7. If you want to do them every day, or 6 times a week, I would only do 1 exercise for 4 sets to really keep the pump in there, the blood in there, you know, to keep the nutrients being delivered to those muscles. But make sure that you go heavy. Don't use light sets. Use 4 sets of heavy reps, and especially on the last set, go to failure. But when you notice any discomfort or pain near your calf area, your ankles, or the inside of your knee, stop doing them every day, because I noticed when I trained calves more than 3 times a week, I started having these, weird pains and near the inside of my knee, just these stinging pains. Then stop, because you're overdoing it. Listen to your body. But yes, give it a shot and see how it goes. 1 exercise per time. Next question by Yannick van den Bogaert. It's a Dutch name. What do you personally think is the best post-workout carbohydrate? Dextrose, Vitargo, maltodextrin, or waxy maize? Or is maybe using a mix of them better? I like to use Vitargo, but I have to be honest, the difference between the dextrose, Vitargo, maltodextrin, or waxy maize is not great. The only big difference is in the price. But if you can afford it, and if you want to get the most, absolute most out of every workout, of every recovery, use Vitargo. It is a heavier molecule, so it pulls with it more nutrients into the muscle cells. Your insulin is high, you cause an insulin spike when you take the Vitargo, which causes it to be rushed into your blood, into your muscles, and it takes with it a lot of nutrients because it's a heavier molecule and it absorbs a lot quicker than the others. But still, the effect compared to the dextrose and the other carbohydrates isn't that great. But yes, if you're a competitive bodybuilder, use Vitargo. If you're a regular lifter, dextrose will do fine. Next question by Ide17 Pantheris. Wesley, is it better to hit a single body part really hard once a week, or hit it maybe 2 to 3 times a week but with less volume? My advice to the average lifter, to most people out there, is train your stronger body parts once a week really hard, really intense, and your weaker body parts 2 times a week. So if you have a weak back, on Tuesday you will do back width workout, and on the Friday you will do a back thickness workout. And you only train arms once a week, you train chest once a week, you train legs once a week, shoulders once a week, and abs throughout, and you're done. But it depends on which muscle group is weak. For me it's legs, so I also always train legs twice a week. Because if you train everything twice a week, you won't be able to bring up the weak point, because everything basically grows at the same rate, at a slower rate, because you're simply doing too much for most people. But if you train it with the weak body part 2 times a week, that will grow faster as opposed to the rest of your body, which actually makes the weakness of the body part fade away, and it will be as strong as the others, and then you have a new base to start from. Next question by Croc Miek. Hey Wesley, when is the next day of eating or maybe meal prep videos coming online? I really take a lot of info out of those. Well, they're actually coming soon, because I have an announcement to make concerning a competition which will actually be coming up in the near future. And I want to take you with me in a prep. See how everything goes, see how I do it, see the progression I make, and how I do at the show. A lot of backstage footage, loading, carbohydrate loading footage in the last week, for example. Depletion footage, how you get rid of all the glycogen and carbohydrates in your body to make the loading phase that much more effective. The foods that I eat and why, the digestion of them, what supplements I use to really boost up my metabolism, to make me cut down, the cardio, the training, everything will be covered. And yes, that includes the full day of eatings and the meal prep videos, so be aware of those, guys. Last question of the day. Andre Castilla asks, I have a question for the Q&A. Do you expect muscle soreness after every workout, and is it necessary? I explained this a little earlier, but muscle soreness is not necessary after every workout. In fact, it actually has more to do with your nutrition. If you're really sore, it could be that you actually trained very differently and your body's simply not used to this, but most of the time it means that your nutrition wasn't up to par with what your body needed to recover from that workout. Now usually that is in the vitamins and mineral antioxidant range, and not so much in the amount of calories that you eat. So always eat healthy, guys. Enough greens, vegetables, fruits, beans, and wholesome foods, That's the first thing you got to do to fix the muscle soreness. But yeah, it's not necessary. I barely experience muscle soreness, yet I keep making gains, so there's not a correlation. But anyway, guys, that was the Q&A for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe learned something. And down below you can ask more questions if you want for the next Q&A, and I'll do my best to answer them in the 5th edition of the next Q&A. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to stay